different ways that we are, like how we see things or how messages get across to us. I don't want you guys to think that because you get something different than the way that we do that you're wrong, because you're not. It's something that either we're thinking of or it's been triggered in our memory, or maybe we just don't experience it that way, and the way that you do is beautiful. And I want you guys to understand that too, that there's so much love in that too. But just because it's not something we mentioned today, we mentioned in the future, and you're just like, well, they never talked about what's happening to me. You guys, you have a voice. If you want to private message us or whatever you want to do, and you want us to talk about it, we will never put your name out there. Everything that you say to us stays with us.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Because
even in stories with our parents or our friends or whatever, those are not our names. Sure, you can figure out who our parents are, but even like testimonials we've given about readings we've done for people or our friends or whatever, good luck figuring that out. The Spirit's going to come to you directly and tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want you guys to know you're safe here. We choose to do things personal about ourselves to help you guys, not personal things with people's names or stuff like that, because that's personal to us.
Yeah. And not only that, but we basically, the way we think is like, we're going to do for others the way we would want them to do for us. And that's basically how I've always looked at it. I might have lost contact with that. I mean, sometimes, because I'm human, right? But now I'm really focused on that. I really focus on trying to treat people how they treat me or how I want to be treated, right? So with that being said, when you come here, you're not going to be talked about. We're not going to laugh at you. I mean, you guys, we're literally doing live videos with you guys to watch us talk about things that we don't talk about, okay? I mean, so if anybody's worrying about being judged right now, it would be her and I. So literally take this for what it is. It's a video of us saying, hey, like, you can be crazy and weird and it's okay. You are. Like, here's what we think. So come ask us anything you don't think it's crazy or stupid, or we're going to laugh at you, because we're not. We've literally been through that.
And if we haven't, best bet, we'll ask Spirit. Spirit will tell us.
Yeah.
So
another thing I want to touch on. I want to touch on something. So on our page, we did write that it took us a long time to accept our gifts and to really start working on them. But don't let that confuse you. Like, we overnight decided, hey, we're going to just say that this is what we are. No. But this has been our whole life. Like, literally. We just didn't show a lot of you because we were brainwashed. Like, oh my God, we're going to be looked at as weird or scary, or I don't want to hang out with that girl, or you know what I mean? So we've been doing this our whole life. So we literally have that much experience in it. Yeah, we've been honing in and getting better at our skills. Probably for me, it's been like 6 years now. So that's how long I've been honing skills, but I've had them whole life. So has Jordan. So we don't want you guys to confuse that with like we just decided to come up overnight with this crazy story. No, like this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah, and I don't want you guys to think either that if you choose to like reach out to us or hang out with us after this that we have to read you, or it's been like this forever. We could have always read you. We could have always done those things, but we chose to just hang out with you and be cool with you and be friends with you because that's who we are.
Yeah.
So just because we hang out again or we see each other doesn't mean that I'm going to run up to you and be like, oh my God, blah, blah, you need to hear this. I'm not going to do that to you guys. So,
we know the boundaries, you guys. We understand that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's talk about seeing like animals over and over, like a certain animal all the time. Let's talk about that. What is the one that I've been seeing a lot lately?
So we can talk about spirit and real life because both happen all the time.
Yeah.
For me, real life is birds. I get a lot of birds all over the place. Cardinals, you name it. There's a lot of hawks around my house. I've been seeing a lot of crows. That one's a little like, okay. This is funny. Like, y'all are being funny. But, I actually did a little bit of research into that and learned that crows don't mean what we think that they do. They don't mean that, like, death's coming upon you or, like, anything bad. They actually they're messenger birds. And that's such a beautiful
thing. That goes back to that
brainwash. We associate white doves, you guys, with messenger birds because that's what's in all the ancient stuff about how people got letters in the mail and all that stuff. And that's because those birds are really smart. That's not necessarily because they are messenger birds. They're just really intelligent and know all that stuff based on the research I've done. But crows do not mean what what we think that they do. So it took me a while to accept seeing them all the time. And I even actually have a video that I posted to my personal page about being at the beach, you guys. I was getting ice cream with my kids, and there's a crow at the table next to us just going, wah, wah, wah. And I'm like, what? Hey, how are you? Like, what's up?
Okay.
Okay, this is a little weird. And like I said, even Holly and I will still have stuff that happens to us every day that we're like, oh, okay, this is weird. Like, this has never happened before. I need to call her right now. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
And it's just something we learn together, or we spend days deciphering, and then finally Spirit's like, boom, there you go, that's what it was. And we're like, okay, got it.
Got it.
Yeah. So that I would say, but and then your spirit animals, there's so many ways we can go about talking about all this. Like, you have your own spirit animals, your own spirit totems. For me, I know that's why I see foxes and hawks a lot, because those are spirit totems for me. I also see wolves and stuff too. Like, I'll talk about this. About 2 months ago, I was driving home, and I know we have coyotes out here where I live, but I was driving home the other night, and a coyote ran out in front of my car. You guys didn't realize how big these things were. I literally saw a wolf ran out in front of my car. Freaked me out. I had to pull over. I was shaking. I was having like the fight or flight out of body experience. Like, oh my gosh, I almost hit this animal. Like, what did I just see? That was real. What just happened? And then I looked it up, and they're coyotes, and I'm like, coyotes are that big? Are you serious? Like, I'm stupid to y'all, but I didn't know. You know? So yeah.
Yeah, got your attention.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about this too. Earlier, I got home, and I had just gone and gotten some food for my son and I. And when I got home, I saw this cat peeking on the corner of my house, and I'm like, "Oh, you're so cute!" And I went over there to like see what kind of cat it was. It wasn't a cat. And I'm on the phone with Holly, and I'm telling her like, "There's a black cat peeking around the corner." And that was a whole message in itself that we won't really get into right now, but. Yeah, so yes, there are spirit animals that you see. There's real animals that you'll see, and they all, for me, I connect really, really, really immensely, I would say, with animals, and I always have. And I was telling Holly the other day, I'd forgotten about this, and she opened this back up for me through our conversation that we were having, that when I was a child, you guys, and I would be like traveling out of town or just going anywhere, if I would see lost animals on the side of the road, I would make my mom pull over and pick these animals up. Lord knows where they came from or where they were going, and my mom, being the loving soul that she was, would always pick these babies up for me. We didn't keep them. We would rehome them or give them back to their parents or whatever it was, but she would always do that for me because she knew what that meant to me at my core. And I love her to pieces for that. I don't know if I would do that, if my kid was like that. I would like to think that I would, but the fact that she went out of her way to do that means everything to me, still to this day. Also, if I would see like an animal that was hit and passed away, I would cry, you guys, and I would pray that my mom would like pull over and let me bury this animal the way that it was supposed to be, like sacredly buried, because I truly believed in that when I was a child. Like, things are supposed to be buried and given back to the earth, and their spirit is to be set free. And that was also a very, very different, I would say, thing to do as a child, because there weren't a lot of other kids like me that did stuff like that. A lot of other kids would just be like, ew, that's disgusting. You want to touch a carcass? Like, that's how they saw it. But I didn't see it that way. I thought it was totally different. I had a totally different view of stuff like that. And I'll even go to the extent to share some really personal stuff with you guys and tell you that I had and still have a collection of stuffed animals that I would get. And when I would see these passed away animals on the side of the road, I would give them names. And then I would go get a stuffed animal that resembled this animal, and I would name it the same name, and I would keep it. And